research and development for public sector comprises only about 1% of the last Farm Bill spending. And it's actually less than 1%. And there's a lot of concern about that because the private sector really does look to public sector to partner and to deliver basic foundational research that private sector enterprises can improve upon and develop and extend. However, one of the things that the private sector has been very excited about in recent years is development of such new partnerships like the Foundation for Food and Agricultural Research, which was established in the last Farm Bill, so also known as FFAR. And it's a wonderful platform because it provides the ability for private sector to come alongside and partner with public sector funding and universities to really leverage new sources of funding and new approaches. So that's kind of one approach that the private sector is taking, is looking for those kinds of opportunities for collaborative research in the US. Also overseas, it's quite interesting what the potential is for new innovation partnerships. So the private sector has been ramping up their investments, particularly since about 2000, in things like open innovation platforms and venture capital. And these are oftentimes small to medium amounts of funding that are either crowdsourced or use a venture capital type model where private sector looks for high impact and rapid types of research partnerships. So universities or small startups or even consumer-facing type industries can apply for grants and funding sources from the private sector in order to develop some maybe innovative and new types of approaches towards questions or problems that public sector research isn't meeting. So some examples of that, which we'll hear more about in the Farm Foundation Forum later, is the Dupont platform for open innovation. And this is really a great model. It provides grants for innovators in areas like crop breeding and crop traits, things such as new breeding technologies like CRISPR. It provides funding for innovation like drones or precision agriculture technology and sensors, those kinds of things that the companies may not be able to spend a lot of time and talent on within their walls, but they're looking to partner with fresh ideas and fresh talent outside their walls. And it also opens up opportunities for small startups to have a new relationship with the private sector companies. Another area that I think is really interesting is that the private sector is increasingly partnering with international agriculture research institutions. We know that by 2030, about 96% of the markets are going to lie outside the United States. That's both for consumer goods and for agriculture products. So private sector companies are also looking to internationalize their partnerships. And there's another great example of this I could mention from the private sector is with the Water Efficient Maize for Africa program, in which a company like Monsanto is providing some elite maize lines that are being used for local research and development in African countries and in partnership with international institutions like the International Maize and Wheat Improvement Center. And so everyone working together can really elevate the research funding and advance the research models. And these are some just examples of what the private sector is bringing to the new field of international agriculture and research.
That's a very good answer. Well done. Well done.
I would also add that, I think the new era of research allows us to look at some applications and issues of concern for consumers. Traditionally, a lot of the research that's been done by private sector ag companies has been to help farmers, and that's going to obviously continue to be an important focus. But I think research that can improve the nutritional quality of foods, as well as food safety, and address additional concerns such as animal well-being and animal health are going to become paramount. So these are some things that the private sector can bring in order to advance the entire research pipeline and build upon the public research that we are doing here in the United States.